Yes, everyone, what's going on? Stephen Howson. Manchester United have shit the bed again, basically. All felt pretty inevitable, let's be honest with ourselves, didn't it? As soon as we went 1-0 up, Arsenal sort of grew a little bit, got a bit of bollocks about them, and just started wearing us down. And before you know it, we've conceded. The goal itself, absolute comedy of errors. I'll say from the entire defence, actually, from Tuanzebe to Ashley Young. Poor decision from Tuanzebe to play it back inside like that. You know, obviously inexperienced as a left-back, not playing on his stronger foot. Turned inside rather than turning to his outside, which is probably what you would want in that scenario. I mean, Maguire was kind of there, but Maguire was definitely about to get pressed by Aubameyang if he passed it to him. Should De Gea maybe have come over? Could he have seen that far to knock it into De Gea to clear it? Probably, on reflection, would have been the smart choice to turn out, put it in the stand, or try and get it up the line at least if nothing else was on. Arsenal pressed us quite well in that particular instance, playing it across. I asked why Maguire is directly behind him when he's clearly marked, probably wants to move and get into a better position, certainly one that can actually cover. Lindelof's so fucking far over, you're like, hang on, which side is he playing on here? And then reacts a little bit late, and then if you go and watch it from a couple of angles, Ashley Young is so far out of position. Saka reacts really well, actually, and has a sniff of, like, there could be something on the cards here, and starts to move, and he actually, at the start of the clip, where you see where the goal happens, Saka's sort of being marked by Young because Young's watching what's happening. Even though he's watching what's happening, he's not thinking what's happening. And Saka drifts in. So he's kind of in between him and Lindelof now, which means neither of them are going to get to him. The ball does eventually fall out in that general vicinity. And Young is so far away. Like, if he'd have just followed the run of Saka, it'd have been so much closer to Aubameyang. But once he comes in, once he starts to come into the box, and once Aubameyang comes into the box, Young doesn't try to close the man down. He just comes closer to the ball with his hand in the air. Told from 4 and 5-year-old, play to the fucking whistle. Captain. Go fucking launch somebody and play to the whistle. Go stick that ball in the fucking stand, then start bollocking linesmen, referees, teammates, or whatever. Play to the fucking whistle. So I would say Lindelof was the one that was probably the harshest done to there, but the rest of them, all kind of culpable. Tuanzebe you can sort of excuse, if you like. Everybody else, a little bit of a piss take. I actually can't see that from here. 88% pass completion, 1 out of 1 clearance, 7 recoveries, 1 out of 2 tackles, 1 headed clearance. Bit of a surprise at left back. I actually thought with Wan-Bissaka being out that it wouldn't have been the worst shout playing Axel at left back, to be honest with you. Not a terrible game. Mistake which cost them the goal has to be discussed because it's relevant, isn't it? Not a terrible game from him. We've got some more that's worth having a look at here. As you can see, a lot of his passes, quite sensible. Let's go back to his passes. So, as you can see here, a lot of the passes, sort of what you'd expect. Not really an overlapping performance from a fullback, but I didn't want that anyway. If you looked at my match preview where I went through what I wanted, I actually picked Tuanzebe but at centre-half alongside Maguire, and I had Rojo at left-back because all I wanted to do was have a solid left-back performance, a solid sort of just a pure defence. I knew United weren't going to attack and overlap. I knew United weren't going to get into the final third with our fullbacks. Can I have it back on the screen, please? And I knew United weren't going to really test Arsenal in that kind of manner. So it's kind of what I expected to see there. But what I mean, if you compared it, I think Ashley Young come out with, like, again, 70% pass completion, somewhere in that sort of region. I don't fucking get what a guy offers. I really don't. We've got some other players that we can look at. I can't remember off the top of my head who we said. Scott McTominay, a lot of people calling Scott man of the match. 76% pass completion, 2 out of 4 take-ons, 5 fouls won, 6 ball recoveries, 4 out of 4 tackles, 2 out of 2 interceptions, 1 out of 1 clearances. Also had a decent couple of attempts where probably should have done better with the header that flashed across the box. Did score a brilliant goal that the keeper didn't even bother trying to attempt it. We got his pass map. There's his 2 shots. Again, the one from inside, not brilliant. Could have done a bit better with it. A little side to side. Would like to start seeing a little bit more penetration from McTominay. Maybe that's a lack of options ahead of him. But either way, having a decent season. I think if you were starting to do your man of the match, player of the season voting right now, McTominay would probably be one of the ones in the mix for it, wouldn't he? Who's the next one that we've got? Paul Pogba. Says here he played. Not too sure about that one. Let's have a look at his pass map, actually. It says 21 successful forward passes there. Looks like there was a lot more penetration from Pogba, but to me, he felt anonymous. He actually felt anonymous in this game here today, Paul Pogba. 50 passes. Didn't feel anywhere like 50 passes, did it? I mean, what you guys think? Happy with Pogba in there today? Or was like me, was like, when did Pogba play? Who else have we got? James, 0 out of 3 crosses. He's got to improve that for me. A lot of people are still blaming the forwards for that. You got to look at the man in possession. It's the man in possession's decision making. I think he's having a very. I actually thought James stood out off the ball fantastically for us today. Always driving, always aggressive, always looking like he give a shit, and I think that matters. There's just got to be a little bit more quality from him in the final third. Get a little bit more quality in the final third, and I think you're going to start to see something there. There was one more, wasn't we, that we went with? Passes. All right, we didn't do the last one. All right, okay. No, I think that was that 4? We've done 4, haven't we? Yeah. What I think one of the major issues for United in this game was, it says there 16 shots. What I want you to have a look at here, and it doesn't matter the opposition. It doesn't matter the opposition now. I know a lot of people are going to go different opposition. They played Newcastle, we played Arsenal. Doesn't matter the opposition. What I want you to have a look at here is the shots and the shot placement now. A lot of people think expected goals is a load of bollocks. Expected goals isn't a load of bollocks. It's just maths. You have better chance of shooting the closer you are to the goal. Look, you're looking for the round end. Obviously, I don't know if that's that obvious for everybody. The arrow is where it ends up. The round end is where it starts from, where you're shooting from. Look how many of United's shots are outside the box. United are the top one. Leicester is the bottom one. This is Leicester against Newcastle. 1 goal out of 16 shots from us there, 4 on target. 4 goals out of 5 from 5 on target and 13 shots on the low one. This is Leicester against Newcastle. Not just how many are inside the box, by the way. How many are around the penalty spot, which is kind of your ideal spot to be taking chances from. Look at the yellow ones. Look where they all are. 1 inside the 6-yard box, 1 just to the right of the penalty spot. Yes, there's 1 from outside the box. You do get those. And 1 from the left-hand side of the box. This is what United aren't doing. I think if you want to analyse... United are... Trust me on this one, but United are actually conceding fewer chances and fewer high-quality chances than we have done for a while. But what we aren't doing... Even though we are having a few more shots, and I can put that down to a few players like Pereira who just fucking shoots willy-nilly. What United aren't doing is having higher quality shots. And the decision-making of Rashford, Pereira, Pogba, possibly Lingard a little bit tonight, definitely has to be better. And Jacob saying, yeah, this was versus Newcastle who had 10 men for large parts. It doesn't matter. You're missing the whole fucking point of what I'm trying to show you here. It's about where they are actually taking their shots from. And people say James is putting crosses into the box. It's someone's got to get on the end of them. It's incorrect. They have to put crosses to where the people are. That's a good cross. Is to where someone can get on the end of it. Where these shots are taking place. Now, I didn't scroll through a million different games. I went, I'm just going to pick that game because I knew in my head they had some. I actually thought they had 16 shots, the same as United. It was only when I looked on it I saw they had 13. I could have picked any game. I can't do it now because I won't be able to get the graphics on screen in time. But what you have to go and look at is where do people take their shots from? That really, really, really matters. And for me, United aren't taking shots from these places. And the reason our forwards aren't scoring goals is because fundamentally, our midfield isn't creating these chances. Leicester have a better midfield. Arsenal is probably on par. Tottenham, so many fucking teams in the. I mean, even Wolves. Let's be honest with ourselves. I'm creating better chances for their forwards. Now they might have a worse defense. They might have a better winger and a worse winger. Where they take their shots from really matters. And this is pure maths, lads. This isn't the quality of striker. You don't even know who's hit those. I mean, you'll know who scored, but you don't know where all these shots are getting hit from, and it doesn't matter because you can just see. Look at the 3 shots that Leicester had from outside the box there, 4 shots actually, that they had from outside the box. 1 was blocked, 2 missed the target, 1 went in. 25%, you would say, on the basis of that. Look at the ones from inside the box. The ones that they get on target, how many of them go in? That's the difference. I don't know what the fuck that one is. That's just basically going from left to right and just in front of the penalty spot. If we can create better chances for our forwards, we'll score more goals. We score more goals, we win more matches. What we need to be asking is how United create better quality chances. How we... The fact Marcus Rashford had no shots the other day, I don't blame Marcus for that. And I said this after the game the other day. This is on the forwards and this is on the midfield. This is on everybody else to create for that player. If your goalkeeper faces 27 shots in a game, do you blame your goalkeeper? Or do you go to the defensive midfield? How about fucking give a guy half a chance? Fundamentally, that's the same thing with your striker. Your striker can't do it on his own. Some can. We don't have anyone that's that good. And until this is fixed, until we can start creating, I would love it to be systematic. And like I showed you the other day, the Aguero ones, most of them was from right on the penalty spot, all missed. That's when you have a problem with your striker. When you're forward, you can't get them. Someone just put here, you won't blame Marcus or Jesse. Have you just not listened to a fucking word I've just said? Where I just said, decision-making and quality has to be better from both of those. Are you not fucking listening at all? Are people just not fucking... honestly, listen to what actually gets said, not what you want to hear. How about that for a start? Jesus Christ. Well done, United, you're 10th, says a Liverpool fan. Why are you watching a United channel, you fucking loser? The worst part of all this is that when we cross, we go for headers. When we already have Ship Lukaku, we should go for more low crosses in the box like City. Yeah, what City do is essentially pass. They put it on a plate and go, there you go, son. Would you like to put that in the back of the net? And someone puts the fucker in the back of the net. What we do is we're whipping crosses into people that can't head it. And that's decision-making. You have to know what you're trying to achieve. If City had David Beckham putting crosses in for Raheem Sterling, what do you think could happen? Fucking nothing. Because he's not great in the air. He's not the sort of guy that's going to get on the end of them. If David Beckham's putting crosses in for Marcus Rashford and he puts them in the way he put them in for Dwight York and Ruud van Nistelrooy, he's not going to get on the end of them. To get the best out of the forwards we've got, all 3 of our forwards are very similar. You get them beyond the defence. You get them into the box on their stronger foot, which is different for all of them. And you're going to see some goals out of them. But when do we get that opportunity? We don't, because we don't create a systematic goal. And that is problem. It's fundamentally my favourite word. Tonight it might be, yeah. Because I can't say cunt, apparently. The same reason you watch Arsenal Fan TV. I don't watch Arsenal Fan TV. Marshall to come in on the left and rest Rashford for a month until he's fully fit. Been injured for 6 months. I think if United get a good right winger, an attacking playmaker, and a backup left back, we'll be all good. By next year, Tuanzebe and Mason need to be first choice. Just a little bit of depth, I think, would help. Outside our first 11, you don't really have the confidence of what can come in, and there's too many players still. I think I said at the start of the season, I think we probably had somewhere in the region of 9 out of an 11. Now, that might have been optimistic. It might be more like a 7 or an 8. But we didn't. There was no way that I was looking at this and going 11 out of 11. Like, yeah, I've got an 11. If everyone stays fit, we've got an 11. Because I didn't even think that at the start. I didn't even think that at the start of the season. And I thought as soon as we get 1 or 2 injuries, we are Foxville. They're screaming for someone to say, to bring in Llorente. I even said Andy Carroll and I even said Danny Welbeck, much to everyone's derision. But those would have been options and different plans that we could have bring in off the bench. Now, if you was throwing plenty of them crosses in at Andy Carroll, you'd fucking get on the end of them. That's what he does. If you ask Andy Carroll to get in behind the defence, go one-on-one with a goalkeeper, slot it in the bottom corner, he's going to look at you like you just asked him to do a fucking Chinese crossword. But if you put balls floated into the air to him, back post, front post, fucking getting his napper on them all day long, you've got to cut your cloth according to what you've got. And at the minute, we don't know what we're doing. We don't have a system. We're trying to bang crosses in like we've got a fucking prime Alan Shearer. Like, a lot of people in the comments here saying, Mandzukic, yeah, like, is Mandzukic going to win us a Champions League? No. He's not even going to win us a Premier League. He might not even fucking win us a derby. But Mandzukic is going to give us another tool. We are so fucking thin that the reality is, and you can be deluded about what the reality is, but the reality is Manchester United are fucking weak. And our squad is thin. And any step forward is a step forward. So Mandzukic, for me, step forward. How about Zlatan till the end of the season in January? Zlatan's a step forward. I don't think Zlatan fits any sort of system for us. Has this just crashed again? Jesus, what's going on with this tonight? Listen, and I'm going to wrap it up there. I think the fact that the fucking stream can't stick around is a good indicator. But tomorrow, I can promise you this, we have got a fucking top draw podcast coming with Berbatov. He was more than I could have hoped. He was funny. He was honest. He tells City to fuck off at one point. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Get notifications turned on. It'll be out probably around lunchtime tomorrow. We've got to do a couple of edits to it and check it out because Berber was everything I could have hoped for. So cheers for him for his time today. Hope you guys enjoy it. Look, it's going to be a long season. We probably should have known this, and ultimately it's going to take a long fucking time. So strap yourselves in. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and enjoy Berbatov tomorrow. See you in a bit.